Well, how's it going today?
It's a pretty okay day. It's kind of lazy for me.
Kind of relaxing.
Yeah, that too.
Didn't get any reading in.
No,
What would you have read if you could change things?
well, if I would have woken up earlier, I would have worked on reading Phaedrus.
What do you like about that so far? So that's Plato's dialogue about, sort of love and rhetoric and writing.
Uh, well, I was interested in the love part, so I would have been interested in what he was saying about why uh, why one version of love is better than the other.
What have you read so far? Can you recount any of that?
Mm. So I know in the dialogue it starts with I think Socrates is walking around.
They're outside the city walls, which is unusual for him, Most of the dialogues are in the
I remember what
city.
his name.
Socrates was
They're
like
outside the study. Yeah. So I forgot who he meets. I think it's a younger guy.
yeah, Phaedrus.
Um, Phaedrus. Oh yeah. So he meets him, and then they start having a sort of a conversation with each other. And Phaedrus is kind of telling him of what he has learned. I think according to some of the stuff he has read or discussed.
Yeah, he has a speech with
And
him by a
yeah,
by a rhetoric teacher,
yeah,
sophist.
yeah. And I think I forgot what happens after that, but then they're going about to enter like some dialogue about why I think the love between I think friends or 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 why that love is better than like the love of a lover. Like
Hmm.
so they're going to start like covering like the reasons why throughout the book. Yeah, I
So,
would have worked on reading that if I could change today.
what did you like about it so far? What makes you want to continue reading?
I want to hear the arguments because I think like so usually like at least in our modern kind of thinking, like like the like uh like there's some kinds of love are kind of elevated above others.
Well, we kind
So
of emphasize romantic love, right? We
yeah,
even after all this time and all this cynicism, I mean, we still have kind of maybe the only idea of, I mean, it seems telling that when we talk about a sexual relationship, we use the word romantic.
hmm
Seems like romantic love is our only idea of like conjugal or sexual or erotic
hmm
love.
yeah, yeah. So it's that kind of love that in our kind of today's thinking that we kind of focus and kind of worship more. So I just want to hear another view perspective.
Mm. Do you think love has a transformative effect?
You mean if it could change people or someone?
Yeah.
Mm, I'm not so sure. I
You don't think it can completely change someone's experience at least?
maybe sometimes this can, but I'm not sure it could change, uh, completely change someone at, in other circumstances.
You don't
Because,
think having a child changes mother or father?
mm, well, I think for most people it does, but then there's some people that, for whatever reason, like can't, aren't really changed, and they're kind of the same person as before, but with the responsibility of a child now, and like they're not cut out for it.
Well, I just asked if love can change, not if it always does.
Yeah, I guess it can in some cases.
But if it can change a parent, you don't think it can change a lover or a beloved?
Hmm. I'm thinking of Beauty and the Beast, and it changed the Beast. So
It's kind of
yeah, and
the
I
point of
guess
the
for the
story, right?
beloved, yeah, it did change him.
Do you think that was realistic in some way or fantastical or was it instructive?
Uh, I guess the story overall is fantastical, but I think maybe the transformation itself maybe wasn't so maybe out of the norm or something. Because maybe the beast kind of trapped in the castle, becoming kind of bitter and stuff. Uh,
Are
maybe
you
just
saying he
having that.
changed because he didn't have love?
Uh, no, I'm saying he changed. Maybe he changed because he got love. Yeah,
No, I
in
mean
that story.
just being in the castle. Why did he change into a beast in the first place? I don't remember that.
I think a curse was placed on him,
Could that have
and
been
I think
symbolic of anything?
yeah. So I think the curse was that if he would didn't find love, he would stay that way forever.
That sounds like a Disney thing, though. I bet the original was darker.
Yeah, I imagine so.
But anyway, what you were talking about was the transformative effect of the love of Belle on him. We're talking about the Disney story, right? The
Mm.
old one.
Yeah.
Have you seen the new one, by the way?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I like the old one though. That's probably my favorite Disney movie. I also kind of coincided with my childhood anyway, though.
Mm-hmm.
I saw The Little Mermaid 2 earlier when I was very little in the theaters, and it had a romantic lagoon scene, and I had very strange feelings. I didn't know what was happening, but it was very powerful. It's when the everybody is trying to get him to kiss the girl.
Mm-hmm.
Have you not seen that movie?
Which, sorry, it froze for a moment. Uh,
Oh, it's okay. The Little Mermaid, the lagoon
oh, I
scene.
saw that movie.
Remember, it's the kiss the girl. But I saw that
Mhm.
in the theaters and it was very moving, but I don't think I knew what was going on. I was like 6 years old or something.
Mhm. Yeah, I remember that part.
But anyway, with Beauty and the Beast, you're saying that's an example of like a transformative effect of love.
Yeah, I think that movie is an example of that.
Uh, how do you think that happened? If you can concentrate enough to answer.
Oh, I think that beast was kind of, I think, trapped in the castle. I don't remember. Um, but I think maybe just that isolation maybe just kind of dimmed his view of people.
Oh, don't give me the mental health answer. You don't think it had something to do with like her faith in him?
Yeah, because I think she saw what he could be, and she she kind of knew he was probably better than like what he was at the time.
It's sort of like a teacher, right? Like having
Hmm.
faith in someone, having an idea of what they could be, of their potential, and
Yeah,
somehow helping to inspire their change to be that.
yeah, yeah. And I think in the story they kind of bonded also over like their love of like reading and things like that. So I think that's maybe what started kind of them forming their relationship.
They have a shared interest that's also in itself is a transformative thing, or do you not think learning itself can be transformative?
Yeah, I think learning can. So I think maybe that's why just reading and books were such a big part of the story. It was just kind of symbolic of him just kind of learning, like you said, to maybe be better.
So Why do you think you were watching YouTube and shuttling back and forth between chicken grocery stores instead of reading?
I did not prioritize the reading today.
I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I'm just more like thinking of before we were talking about sort of what makes change, and that is a mental health question too, but I think I'm more interested in it even broadly than like a sort of specific field would treat the question.
Mhm. Well,
But yeah, what do
change
you
is
think does that inspires
what.
change?
Oh, I think change can be painful, so that's why it's hard to do it.
Yeah, we were talking about that, how it does tend to require more effort. Um, yeah, if you think, I asked you before if you think humanity is inherently good or evil. And one thing that we thought of is that evil things tend to be easy. They tend to require less effort. You can go more with like sort of instincts. Instincts often lead us for short-term gain. And good, we consider more like what is the long-term or the broader good rather than short-term or personal, individual good.
Mhm. Yeah, I think in my case, change is painful because it's hard for me to imagine changing my routine, especially with the sleep. So like part of me doesn't want to do it
Um, then is
because
there
if I,
anything that can get you over that hump?
well, I just have to wake up early, even if I'm tired. Yeah.
Yeah, but you just said that you kind of have a desire to not do that.
Yeah, but I just have to do it still, even if I don't want to.
Doesn't sound promising.
Um, I don't know, but I think sometimes you just have to do stuff. So, uh, yeah, it doesn't really matter how you feel about it because it's just a feeling.
Eventually that won't be enough, right? It'll just be drudgery.
Yeah, but I think maybe I think you eventually adjust to it and kind of get used to it. So then it becomes easy.
Yeah, but it still might be easy drudgery, right?
Yeah, but I guess not everything in life is
Peaches
like
and cream.
yeah, peaches and cream. Because I maybe have to just treat it like I do exercise. Like I don't love it, but I do it anyways. And I've been able to be pretty consistent with that. But I just had to make myself do it even when I didn't want to.
You're very motivated by like accomplishment. Like I know with exercise, you keep track of your gains in
Mhm.
strength, like through as measured by weight lifted. Is there such a
Yeah.
thing as that for reading philosophy or literature or
Mm, I haven't come up with something for that, so I wonder if that's part of why it's been hard for me to even start. But I think what would help me would probably be making a list of all the classics like educated people should read, and then maybe just kind of going down the list or something. That might help me.
what is a wisdom unit?
A wisdom unit? I don't know about that.
Just
I
keeping
guess,
track of the books then?
yeah, just keeping track of the books. But yeah, I'm not sure how else I could measure it.
Yeah. Well, have you never had conversations where you felt like you grew as a person? Have you never felt like you've had conversations that where you grew as a person and your experience of life was easier or more joyful?
And I think I've had those with you, but I don't know much of having those kinds with anyone else really.
No, you could seek them out. But
Yeah.
anyway, that might be analogous to like reading a wisdom book, right? Like having a good conversation where you grow.
Mhm.
And do you feel like it changes your life and that's inspiring?
Yeah, I feel like it can. I know I get the same feeling with podcasts. So like I binge a lot of Lex Friedman ever since you introduced it to me. Like Spotify actually sent me a message saying I was like the top 2% of listeners
Of Lex
for that
Friedman?
show. Yeah.
That's funny. I haven't even gotten that before.
But, but yeah, it's like I could do something similar, I guess, with reading. Just kind of treat it kind of like I'm sort of in a podcast, but I'm reading it though.
Yeah.
Made me more involved.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about evil being easier than good. Yeah. I mean, cheap entertainment tends to be easier, but yeah, it requires less effort.
Yeah.
But there's less payoff. I think effort and payoff are correlated. It's just for me, conversation is much, it's, I'm making the effort that will lead to the payoff, but it's much easier to make the effort. It's an easier effort. I don't know. I mean, we are humans. We need interaction, connection, we need eye contact. So you're not getting that when you're reading. Um, you're getting that somewhat when you're getting a feeling of that. You're getting that somewhat when you're listening to a podcast or even watching a television show. So reading will require more effort
Mhm.
to kind of get the words on the page into your head because you're
Mhm.
not getting some of those other things that titillate the nervous system.
Mhm. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I want to get back to like how I was when I was a child. When I was a child, like reading was pretty much my entertainment. Um, like I used to read a book a day a lot of the time,
Well,
but now I'm far from that.
yeah, I've gotten out of the habit.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck. What other books you want to read?
Um, well, I think aside from philosophy books, I think I should read uh again just books on religion or spirituality. Like I kind of enjoy that topic a lot. So it might be easier than philosophy for me, but I need to work on philosophy though, since that's more difficult for me. So I should focus on that for now.
You ever see yourself going back to mass?
Yeah, it's like I think I went like I think the last time was my aunt's wedding a couple months ago. Since they had their own wedding mass, so I was
Oh,
part
I
of
didn't
that.
know such a thing. Wow. I mean,
Yeah,
does that mean they take the Eucharist and stuff?
yeah. So I didn't. They just hired a priest, and he did the mass right there at the reception hall.
Hmm. Did they get down on their knees?
Uh, I don't think we did it in that case. Maybe because there weren't pews or anything.
No, I mean them when they're when you receive the host, you get down on one knee, right?
I think that used to be the traditional way. And I used to do that early in my childhood, but ever since the it was Vatican II, or ever
Well,
since that,
change Vatican II changes, I guess. I mean, it's not
yeah,
like you were a child before
yeah,
1965, but
yeah. But now we receive it standing like this. Uh,
they don't put it directly in your mouth.
no, they used to do that at the traditional church I went to, and I kind of
You
like
put
that
it in
more.
your own mouth. That's like crowning yourself king or something.
Yeah, so you receive it with your hand like this, and then the priest places it, and then you pick it up and have it. Um,
Yeah, I remember Mel Gibson is kind of a conservative person, and in Braveheart, they get married and this was, the movie was based in 1100 or something like that. I know it's historically not accurate or whatever, but they get down on their knees and he does the sermon in Latin. I mean the marriage ceremony in Latin, and I was pretty moved by that. I think the getting down on the knees was really made an impression on me, because
Hmm.
that's so different from what I'd always seen in weddings in my lifetime. It just seems so
Hmm.
different, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to do that. Because there's like a very traditional church in Santa Clara, like surrounded by all these tech buildings. Uh,
Yeah, that's really
that
funny.
still does that. I don't know if they're still the same. Like I hope they are since I left. But yeah, I would have to kneel and receive it that way. And it does feel more special.
Well, you said even they did a lot of the calls and responses or whatever it's called in Latin.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And yeah, that it was just kind of a big culture shock to come to a kind of modernized Catholic church, and I kind of didn't enjoy it for a while,
Do they speak in
but I got
Spanish or
used to it.
English?
Uh, well, both, depending on the service, which service you're attending. And there was Vietnamese too. So those are the
Oh, wow,
usual
really
languages at
international.
Catholic churches. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did they, yeah, go ahead.
There's always like the Spanish, Vietnamese, and sometimes Tagalog services at a typical Catholic church.
Do they have like a band playing instead of a organ or something?
Yeah, I was a band, so I
That to me is the worst one, the worst modern kind of adaptation, the
yeah,
music.
so yeah, so I wasn't used to contemporary music in that setting.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
Yeah, but
For
I
me,
grew to
that's way worse.
yeah, like I still grew to love the church, and a lot of the people there became my Sunday school teachers, so I got used to it. But I would always like more traditional. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, for me, pipe organ is way better than anything else. A lot of those pipe organs in Europe, they don't even really know how to repair. They don't really know how they made them. I mean, I think uh, the way they're made was something that was just trade secrets that sort of passed down from like one generation to the next of like tradesmen and
hmm.
master and apprentice. It's kind of amazing. They're like they're slightly unique, each of them.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's time for something else. So you've never been dissuaded from believing in God, or have you ever really questioned it?
Yeah, I used to question it. And then when I found out about what atheism was when I was in middle school, I was like, huh, so I don't have to believe in God. So then I was like atheist for like a day or two, and then I went back to God.
But why?
Uh, Actually, I don't know why. It just maybe at the time it just felt comfortable and familiar to me. Um, but I think now, it's like I kind of view belief in God as in maybe it's not something you have to literally, believe in your mind that there's like a being watching over you. But I feel like uh maybe kind of operating on that kind of basis, like even if you don't necessarily actually like believe it, kind of gives you more meaning in a way. Uh, I'm not sure how to explain it.
I mean, I can see what you mean in the abstract, but do you feel like that's what's operating in you?
Uh, no, I think I actually believe in a creator. Um, but it's always difficult to me to explain why. Like, I think a lot of it was just upbringing, and yeah, it's like I don't really have anything meaningful to say about it. It's just kind of how I operate.
Yeah. Well, we mentioned the four agreements before, but you haven't really, you said you don't really see how these are sort of very useful for you, or
No,
like the use of them.
I just said that maybe my understanding of them is limited. So like I'm missing opportunities every day to see how I could apply them because I'm just not aware or something.
What about always do your best? I guess that's one that occurs. To me, that's a real challenge and has been a real something I think I've really failed in.
Yeah, I think for me too, it's just with developing a better routine that incorporates reading to my daily life. So yeah, I feel like I always want to relax or do what's easier most days. Mm.
Oh, we have a new year coming up. You can make a New Year's resolution and really
Mhm.
stick to it.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. That one I is hard for me too.
Is there any other way you'd like to do your best more?
Mm. I take care of myself physically. I haven't been eating well and I gained weight. So
Mhm.
that way,
That also takes more effort.
yeah, it's like
But
maybe I
it's
could
good to make
become,
things as easy as possible.
it's like maybe I can become more hopeful or something about people. Uh, since I think I'm kind of pessimistic. So
What do you think about what the Buddhists say about if you change your mind, the whole world will change for you?
yeah, maybe if I changed my mind to be more pessimistic, I would act better and then lots of things would change for me.
I don't think they mean belief. It's more like actually changing your experience
Mm.
without changing your belief necessarily. That I think that's kind of the idea of meditation is like training your mind to stop having automatic thoughts, automatic reactions, and even imposing conceptual thinking on the world and more just experiencing it directly. And you'll be much happier because you'll be less judgmental. You'll accept things and you'll kind of just go the way forward that seems best moment to moment.
Mm. So yeah, I guess maybe stop seeing evil in people or evil in the world and just
What kind
focus
of
on the
evil do
good,
you see?
all things people do.
Like what?
All
All the things they do are
I
evil.
all the AI stuff we've been talking about. Um,
What makes you think that's evil? I mean, that's just seems like a very worrying thing that we just have to do our best to try to make sure it goes the best it can, you know?
No, like we're just talking about the consequences though, or potential consequences. And
It's very, yeah, but that's more, that's a computer. I mean, how can you call that even evil?
well, it doesn't matter about the computer, but the outcomes, I guess.
It's, why do you have to think of it as evil? I don't know. It's bad, but I don't know. It seems like when you say evil, you mean something to judge people and punish them or prevent,
Oh, I don't mean it in
makes
that
them.
way. I just use it as a synonym for bad. Mm,
Anyway, why would that make you pessimistic?
mm. It's just hard to feel optimistic when there's a lot of bad stuff going on.
There's always a lot of bad stuff going on, though. The world's never gonna, I don't know. It on a surface level, it seems like you're saying, why should you feel a certain way because there's bad in the world? But isn't that kind of what helps to perpetuate that bad, to not sort of do one's best to sort of help the world to go in a different direction. I mean, I think there's always going to be bad and good things happening, but if it seems more bad than good, if one's mind is pessimistic, so that facilitates the bad rather than the good, I don't mean be, I mean, and one could be optimistic to where one is complacent, and that would also facilitate the bad more. So, but it seems like, I don't know, one can kind of have the mindset that helps one to do the best. So for the good, you know, whether that's realistic, a little bit pessimistic, but with a smile on one's face, or optimistic, but not complacent, whatever you want to call it. It seems like I would, I, you know, I don't know. I would be careful to not have a sort of, yeah, a kind of attitude that may not help me to live the best life and to do what little I can, little but significant that I can to promulgate the good. Okay. Well, I don't know. Maybe we'll leave it there for now. The
Sounds
fourth
good.
agreement, always do your best.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, let's see how that goes.
Good.
Okay. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Okay. Bye bye.